Sarah's mom! Hey! Is now a good time?
Hey, Leo's mom. I'm on my lunch break right now, so it's fine.
Huh? Your lunch break. Does that mean you have a job?
That's right. I'm on my break at the minute.
Oh dear. I did have my suspicions, but it looks like I was right.
You were right? About what?
Your household is poor, right?
What? Why?
I mean, I get the impression your husband doesn't make much money.
Based on what?
He always goes to work in those worn-out clothes. And isn't a single room a bit of a cramped place to live for a family of 3? What's more, if your husband's on such a low salary that you have to work too, he must be a real good-for-nothing, no? How tragic!
No, we're not struggling to get by as much as you seem to think. I've been working at this company since before we got married.
Oh dear, I see. So even if you wanted to quit, you wouldn't be able to because of your scruffy good-for-nothing husband!
No, those clothes are a hobby of his.
Wearing worn-out clothes is a hobby?
He likes clothes with a damaged look.
That's actually a pretty good excuse. Lol. Oh well. I suppose that's what you get for choosing him in the first place.
Like I said, we're not struggling to get by as much as you seem to think.
But you can't make ends meet without the both of you working?
Both me and my husband are in positions of responsibility at our respective workplaces.
Maybe so, but a position of responsibility could mean all sorts of things. For example, being a factory manager at the biggest company in the region, like my husband. Oh, by the way, did you know he got promoted just as we moved here? It's hard to be a stay-at-home housewife in this day of age if your husband doesn't have a job like that, huh?
So was there a reason you contacted me?
Oopsie, forgive me. So you know how we only moved here a month ago? We were thinking of buying an extra cabinet and some shelves for the house. But we don't know where to get them. But of course, we can't go buy anything cheap.
In that case, how about checking out the furniture shop on the bypass? Naturally, they have domestically made stuff. But they also have trendy foreign furniture too. I recommend it.
Oh, really?
You should be able to get there on one stop from the bus station near your house.
You know a lot for someone so poor. Thanks.
Uh,
I didn't think it'd be nice if we went together, but that's probably no can do if you're at work.
Sorry, it's rush hour for us now. I can't clock off early without a good reason.
I see. Oh well, it can't be helped. I'm sure you could take every last hour you can get to scrape by whatever money you can.
I'm gonna head back to work now, so was that all?
Yeah, sorry, I kept you for so long.
Bye. Leo's mom, do you have a minute?
I do. What is it?
Sarah wouldn't stop crying when I went to pick her up after kindergarten today.
Oh?
When the teacher asked her why, apparently she told him Leo said,
You'll catch pox if you play with poor people.
What have you been telling him?
Oh, come on. Don't get so upset. I'm just teaching my son the rules of the world.
Rules?
Actually, it might be hard to understand for a low-income family.
Excuse me?
After all, I heard you hardly ever show up to our mother's meetings, where we all go out for lunch or tea.
Well, I'm working, so I can't do weekdays.
Which means, unlike me and the other wealthy moms who can afford to be stay-at-home housewives, you can't make ends meet unless both of you and your husband are out working.
I do my best to tag along when they invite me on my days off.
But it's true that your attendance rate is low. Basically, you use your job as a pretext not to go so you can keep the expenses down. You know, it's difficult for us to get along with people with such drastically lower standards of living because we have to be careful not to upset you. That's why I'm sorry, but please join a group of low-class moms instead.
Low-class moms? I mean, I don't really care, but I don't think you should be indoctrinating your children with your own prejudices.
Good grief, you just don't get it, do you? Associating with poor children is bad for my son's intellectual and cultural development. It's a parent's duty to keep a watchful eye and choose good friends for their child.
Oh, by the way, I heard you said the same things to Aya's mom because she's a single mother. You should stop teaching your children to discriminate against people because of perceived notions of superiority and inferiority based on how much money they make.
Yeah. If you're going to make comments like that, at the very least, wait until you've improved your standard of living to the point that your husband doesn't have to wear worn-out clothes. Sarah's mom! I see your husband's going to work in worn-out clothes as usual. Poor people are so tragic.
Good evening. Whether you insult me out of the blue is your business, but at least say hello first.
I have an example to share with you of what it's like to be a real celebrity. So I very kindly decided to message you.
Please, go ahead. Now that you mention it, you haven't messaged me in over a month. And you ignored me when I went to pick up my daughter from the kindergarten. Apparently, you were also whispering something about worn-out clothes when my husband went to pick her up after work.
Good grief, stop sulking. You should feel honored that a celebrity like me is even talking to you.
So, what do you want? I'll be getting ready for bed soon.
Oh, do forgive me. It just so happened that the CEO of the company my husband works for invited the two of us to go to his house on Sunday.
Okay, so what?
Apparently, it's a housewarming party to celebrate the completion of the new two-family house for him to live in with his daughter and her husband. All of the company's top executives are invited. My husband's a factory manager, so of course he'll be going. And guess what? I heard his daughter and future successor, the managing director, is the same age as me. I can't see any harm in us getting along.
I see. Well, I hope it ends up being that easy for you.
Good grief, you're not jealous, are you? I suppose being from a family so poor the breadwinner has to wear clothes full of holes. You wouldn't possibly be able to appreciate the inner workings of the celebrity world. Lol. Looks like the gap in status between us got even bigger. I do hope you can forgive me. Oh, I just can't wait for Sunday. Sarah's mom? What are you doing in a place like this?
Oh, Leo's mom, hey.
Not hey! How on earth did you sneak in here? You can't do that! A tough groveler like you shouldn't be mingling with us in here. On top of that, I just saw you being all pally with the CEO, the owner of this house. What the hell are you scheming?
Scheming.
Oh no, you didn't! Are you having an affair? Aiming to marry into money, are we?
Oh, come on. There's no way I'd do that. Your thinking's gone way off the deep end.
Whatever. I don't give a damn about that reason. Hurry up and get out. It's embarrassing for me as a mother of the same kindergarten as you.
Even if you tell me to go,
Come on, make it snappy.
why do I have to get out of my own house?
What? Don't talk such nonsense. This house belongs to the CEO of the company my husband works at as a factory manager. I know you're probably tired from living in a life of poverty, but I think your delusions have gotten out of control.
I'm not delusional at all. This is my house.
Didn't I just tell you?
This is the two-family house me and my husband had built, so we could live with my dad.
What?
If you don't believe me, why don't you ask your husband, the factory manager? They see each other all the time at work, both being executives and all, so he'll tell you straight away.
Executives? Huh? Wait a second. What you're saying makes no sense. What about the one-room apartment you're living in?
The floor plan does include a one-room studio, but there's also a 5-room apartment attached. Me and my family are living in the 5-room apartment. It was only ever a place for us to stay temporarily while this place was being built, so we moved out last week.
Huh? What? But I never heard anything about that.
Yeah, because I never told you.
Why didn't you say something earlier? How awful of you to keep quiet this whole time!
You mean like, hey, my dad's the CEO. Guess what? My husband's the managing director? We're hardly familiar enough for me to tell you every detail of my private life.
What?
Besides, would you even have believed me if I told you? Wouldn't you just call me delusional without listening to a word I said no matter what I told you?
No, that was...
So, not correcting you was intentional. It's enough for me that my other mom friends, who I get along with, understand.
Huh? No way! That can't be! You can say what you like, but I know you've already been excluded from the other mom groups.
Even since the beginning, me and those moms you got along with so well since Leo's first day at kindergarten were never friends at all.
Huh? But aren't the celebrity moms the boss mom group at kindergarten? How can there be moms you can get along with when you're ostracized from the boss mom group? Isn't that a little odd? Explain yourself.
You do know that boss mom is just a name they gave themselves, right?
What? It is?
Sure. They can come from rich households. But you could say they're a little bit quirky. You'll probably understand better if you just think of them as the group who doesn't fit in with the other moms.
You're kidding! That's how the group formed? But what about your husband? What about those worn-out clothes? Surely he had no need to dress like that if his wife was really as important as you claimed you are.
Like I said, they're made to look damaged. It's fashion. He wears them because he likes them.
What? Fashion?
My husband also works for a company as their fashion designer. They have a free dress code, so he's free to coordinate his outfits in line with his taste as much as he likes.
I don't understand.
By the way, the guy in the tailored jacket speaking to my dad, the CEO right now.
Oh, that handsome devil?
That's my husband.
No, that can't be. He's the man who wears the ripped clothes?
I told you, they're made to look that way. He is capable of discerning the time and place to wear certain things, so relax.
But...
Excuse me. My dad's asking me to give an address to the group. I have to go now. Bye. My dad called me over as I was messaging on my phone in the corner. As I gave my speech with mic in hand, I caught sight of Leo's mom quietly sneaking out. I did wonder if she'd give up, but at the beginning of next week, she did a spectacular about-face and was suddenly trying to make everyone think we were best friends. However, word of her attitude had already spread by then, so all the other moms had had enough of her. She even got kicked out of the self-proclaimed boss mom group, and now she's completely alone. On the other hand, our kids are getting along just fine now. I'm so relieved about that. A few days later, her husband, the factory manager, apologized to me profusely. After seeing his wife's line chat history and wanting to keep a closer eye on her around Leo, he decided they all move in with his parents. I am fairly certain it's not a two-family house, though. Good luck, Leo's mom.
Hey, Laura. Is Dad's funeral over now? What? Is this my sister? What do you want? What kind of attitude is that? You should speak to your big sister with more respect. I don't think so. I haven't even thought of you as my sister for years now. Who the hell doesn't even show up to their own dad's funeral? Well, he did disown me, didn't he? It's hardly my fault I can't show my face at the house anymore. Oh yeah, that's right. He did. Because you're a thieving piece of trash who stole $80,000 of the family's money a year ago. Just so you could run away with some weirdo lowlife guy. I didn't steal anything. Don't say such awful things. All I did was borrow the money me and my boyfriend needed to live together. I mean, it's not like I ever planned on giving it back, though. Surely you're not going to pretend you struggled just because you lost a little pocket change? Dad was rich after all. You know that's not the point. Behold, the thought process of a true scumbag. I don't understand you at all. Yeah, anyways, more importantly, is Dad's funeral over now? It was today, wasn't it? Yes, it was. We saw him off peacefully this afternoon. But why are you asking? Dad's funeral has nothing to do with you. If the funeral's over, I should be able to collect my inheritance now. What? No way. Are you planning on taking Dad's inheritance? Obviously. I'm the eldest daughter. Don't be so ridiculous. Not only did you run off with $80,000 of the family's money, but you weren't there when Dad was admitted to the hospital or when his condition worsened. You didn't show up to the wake, and you weren't even at the funeral. You didn't show your face even once. To think that you're only interested in the inheritance. Can't you just stop being a selfish moron for just once in your life? You're not getting a single penny of Dad's money. Ha! Who's the idiot? Let me make this crystal clear. The ones who won't be getting a single penny of Dad's inheritance are you and Mom. What? What do you mean? I have Dad's will. It says very clearly, I bequeath all of my property, assets, and money to my eldest daughter, Kaylee. What? You have Dad's will? It says that? Why would he give his entire inheritance to you? No, it has to be a fake. Sucks to be you, sis. It's the real deal. He wrote it 3 years ago. God, you have no idea how long I had to play the part of the perfect daughter to make absolutely sure I'd get everything in the inheritance. I made him think I was going to look after you and Mom when he was gone. He was so convinced that he agreed to give me the house. That's why he wrote me this will. You're horrible. You mean you tricked Dad? That's fraud, plain and simple. You can call it whatever you like. Anyways, the fact of the matter is that I have the will, and that's what it says. Which means I'll be taking everything. As for the family home, I'll be taking the house itself and the land it's built on. Oh, and of course, I'll be selling it straight away. I mean, why the hell would I want a rickety old house in the middle of nowhere? Yeah, it goes without saying, but make sure you and Mom hurry up and get out. I'd be so upset if you ended up homeless. What? You're just gonna sell the family home? Even though me and Mom are still living here? Sheesh, sis, of course I am. God, try and see things from my perspective. If I sell it, I get more money. The house, the land, the furniture. Heck, I'll even sell the dog. If it didn't die already, that is. Surely, you wouldn't do this to us. Dad's barely gone 5 minutes, and you're gonna kick us out of the family home? This is wrong. Aw, Diddums, I'm so sorry. It's what's written in the will, so it's out of my hands. Look, I'm so kind that I'm willing to wait until you find somewhere else to live. I amaze myself. You just don't find people as generous as me. Just kicking me out would be one thing. But to think you'd kick your mother out of her own house. You're the worst. You pathetic, low-life piece of trash. No, you guys are just stupid. Anyways, for the time being, make sure you transfer all the money in the house right now into my bank account, okay? I knew I was going to be getting the inheritance, so I went on a shopping spree and bought tons of brand clothing. Oopsie. I may have bought myself a luxury foreign sports car, too. And of course, me and my boyfriend will be going on a holiday abroad, so we really need this money pronto. Oh, and I'll take you to court if you try and keep it from me. Toodles! So the money still hasn't gone into my account? Me and my boyfriend have our holiday tomorrow, you know. Would you hurry up and transfer it to me already? I'm not transferring you anything. We have no money to give you. What? Okay, I know you. You can't stand the thought of me taking the house and money. But do you seriously plan on fighting me over this? You need to understand something. The only reason you're currently living in my house is because I'm very kindly allowing you to. Because it's my property. If I decided to, I could have you both stripped of all your possessions and begging for food on the streets in a heartbeat. If you don't want that to happen, I suggest you be a good girl and do what I say. No matter what you say, me and Mom won't be leaving the house. You won't be getting any of Dad's money either. You really are a pig-headed dimwit. Cut the crap and give me the money. Like I told you, Dad's inheritance is all mine. Ugh. There's nothing in the inheritance for you. What? What are you even saying? I have Dad's will right here. Actually, Dad's will just came. His most recent, updated one. What? Dad's lawyer came over yesterday. He was originally supposed to come on the day of the funeral, but apparently there were some delays due to a mistake. So, he brought Dad's will with him yesterday. His new one. The one he wrote 2 months ago. He wrote it while he was still in the hospital and left it with his lawyer. Huh? What? All I'm hearing is nonsense. Come on. What's written in the most recent will is always prioritized, which means yours is nothing but a useless piece of paper. What's written in the new one is basically in accordance with inheritance law. Mom will be getting the house and the land it's built on, accounting for about half of the overall inheritance. I'll get the remaining half in cash. What? Where's mine? You're not getting anything. Seems like Dad counted the money you took from the house back then as your share. A kind of living inheritance. Because it says that your portion got canceled out. What? That's a thing? You mean I'm not getting a single penny? This can't be. What about my legal right share? Just because I might not be written in the will doesn't mean I can't claim my legal share, surely. That portion's rightfully mine. Wow. You actually know about the legal right share? Someone's been doing the research. I'm actually surprised. But unfortunately for you, you're not entitled to that either. What? Why? Because any money received up to a year before the death is considered living inheritance and nullifies eligibility to the legal right share. Basically, the money you took was originally intended to be inherited by all of us as part of the will. It still hasn't been a year since you stole all that money from the house, has it? Now, the amount of money you made off with was greater than that you were set to inherit. Accordingly, you're not entitled to claim for legal right share. In fact, I am. What? I don't understand. Oh, sorry. You don't get it? I'll make it so simple that a monkey could understand. You currently have the money that I was supposed to inherit. Therefore, I'm legally entitled to claim it back in court. According to my calculations, you owe me just over $15,000. What? I have to pay? $15,000? You really think I've got that kind of money? I can't possibly pay that. I know that. Since it's you, I'm fully aware you probably already wasted every penny of the money you ran off with. Which is why, if you respect what's written in Dad's new will, I'm willing to be kind enough not to take you to court. On the condition that you not only give up on the inheritance, but also never contact or come near us again. If you do that, I'll give up on the $15,000. Think of it as payment for getting the hell out of our lives. So, how does that sound? It sounds crazy. It's all wrong. The reason I bought so much branded clothing was because I thought I was going to get Dad's inheritance. Oh, not just that, but a luxury sports car too. What am I meant to do now? Me and my boyfriend are supposed to go abroad tomorrow. If I don't get any money, I'll be completely screwed. I simply don't agree. Why should the will I have be invalidated just because you got a new one? You might not agree, but what are you gonna do? Take me to court? If you insist on trying to claim your legal right share no matter what, I'm happy to take you to court myself. I'm ready to lawyer up and wage a total war on you, sis. And when I win, you'll also be paying my legal fees. But you're the only one set to gain in either case. This isn't fair. I'm the eldest daughter, your big sister. How dare you act with such insolence toward me? Unfair and insolent is fine by me. This wouldn't have happened in the first place if you didn't run off with Dad's money without considering the consequences. If you hadn't gone splurging on things you couldn't afford with money that wasn't supposed to be yours yet, you wouldn't be in this mess. You only have yourself to blame. But what am I supposed to do about all this debt? I borrowed nearly $80,000 because I thought the inheritance was going to show up in my account any day now. What are you saying I should do about that? Beats me. It's not my debt. I have no obligation to pay it off for you. You got into debt by yourself, so get out of it yourself. This seriously can't be happening. I can't be up to my ears in debt. This isn't who I am. Ugh, it wasn't supposed to be like this. So, what are you gonna do? 1. Give up on the inheritance and never have anything to do with us again. Or 2. Hedge your bets on a legal battle you have zero hope of winning. Either way is fine by me. Oh, damn you! Fine. I don't need the inheritance. I'll never set foot in the house again after this. You'll never see me again. I mean it. Happy now? Yes. Perfect. We'll be dealing with the paperwork and procedures on our end. So make sure you really do never come back to the house again. And make sure you really don't give us any more hassle over the money. Is that clear? You money grubber! You swindler! I'll never forgive you for this! Money grubber? Swindler? Was that a self-introduction? Nothing a debt-ridden thief has to say could possibly faze me. Ugh! Just shut up! I hate you! Yeah, I hate you too. Anyways, good luck paying off all that debt. I did get into a serious panic when I heard that my sister had Dad's will. But thankfully, since my dad had the foresight to make the necessary amendments before he passed away, her threats never amounted to anything. When my sister had to cancel the trip abroad with her boyfriend at the last minute, things turned hostile between them, and eventually, the relationship fell apart. She was left with nothing but a mountain of debt. She sold off the car and all the branded goods she had bought in anticipation of the inheritance to cover the debt repayments. But it wasn't enough, and I heard that after getting into even more debt with some shady black market lenders, she's now working at a bathhouse to make ends meet. Me and Mom are healing from the sadness of losing Dad together, and we have begun slowly returning to our normal lives. Now, we don't have a care in the world, and we're taking good care of the family home that Dad left us.